Coruscant?
Let's do it.
So let's get into points. So JJ, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So you only have the changes on here, correct? Not
Yeah. So the way I listed here is the the current points cost, and then the previous point cost, or what it costs from the previous loadout. If it's marked in blue, that means that it's beneficial to that particular ship, meaning they got a points reduction or they have something added to it. If it's marked red, then that means they've lost points or they've increased costs for it, or they've lost like a particular like upgrade slot, for instance. So.
Okay.
So I try to color code it for it. If it's not if there's no color in it, I mean there's nothing changed for that particular stat, or there's nothing else for it. But I that's how I've color coded it basically. Blue is positive, red negative, essentially. And of course, if anybody wants access to this, definitely jump on our Discord. I put it here in our announcements page for anybody to access. I sorted it out between all the different factions, including all the upgrades for those factions. So if you want to see a more detailed look just for the changes that occurred for this last points update, you're free to use that. It's open to anybody who wants to take a look at it, and hope you guys can use that for your list building. So yeah.
All right. We're gonna quickly cover generic upgrades. I don't think most of these are weird. Both R3 and R4 went back down to 3 and 2 respectively. Thank God. And HLC goes up to 5. Jamming beam goes up to 1 because why not? I guess.
No zero cost, baby.
Tractor beam goes up to 6. I don't understand that one either, but
I'm fine with it.
Whatever. Like, I don't want a bunch of tractor beams running around anyway. I hate it.
It's Vader. It's all Vader. Guarantee you.
Well,
probably.
Elite
and then
Vader.
sync laser cannons go down to 6, and that's huge. Hondo goes up to 8. I don't know why. I'm a little confused as to why it went up to 8.
Crew
But
carriers going down points, man, across the board, and like every faction, all their major crew carriers.
extreme maneuvers went up to 8.
Yeah,
I don't. That's the same thing. I don't understand that one. But whatever. And hate's up to 5, which makes sense. That one I understand. Agile gunner, 1 point.
I don't get that.
Yep, doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Cool. BTG going to 5 points. That makes sense. Veteran turret gunner then coming down to 3 points. Like, no, that's why.
The Y-Wings don't have them anymore, so we're good.
Yeah, but that makes the VCXs so much more deadlier now.
That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah. Then we have cloaking device goes up to 8 points.
Thank you, Moff Gideon.
Yep.
Who could still take it, by the way.
Yeah.
You just don't get anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
False transponder codes went up to 5 points.
Which I'm okay with.
That's fine. That makes sense. Rig cargo went down 1 to 3. That's fine. Barrage rockets went down to 6 points. What color in there?
JJ. Yeah, I was doing this at 4 a.m, man. I'm freaking exhausted back then.
Afterburners went down to 8 points. That's pretty big. We already spoke about the Beskar, Drop C, Mandalorian Optics. Proxy mines went up even more because agency, I don't know. Proton bombs went up 1 point. That's fine. They're still really good, but why would you take ion bombs when you can take proton bombs?
Yeah, exactly. It seems a little silly.
Collision detector went down 2 points to 7. That's a choice. I'm not sure what kind of ships would run it, but I'd run it all the time on Echo.
So quick draw with Lingava and trick shot. You just go, you slam right through a gas cloud, you take a damage, and then trick shot right through a gas cloud and with quick draw, and then shoot again at I6.
Okay.
Hey, I didn't say it was good, but but
Lone Wolf went down to 3, which makes sense. If a whole bunch of other ships went down in points, you're going to see an increase in that. Composure's banned, like we said with Tycho, which is good. Crackshot and Predator both went up 1 point.
Mhm.
Daredevil went up to 5 from 2. That's a choice. That's fine. Debris Gambit went down to 4. That's interesting.
Yes.
That's actually a good consideration on things. I'm actually looking at some T70s with Debris Gambit in there.
Yeah, definitely. Now,
Elusive went up to. Oh, sorry.
so I did want to have a small conversation on this here because I think Debris Gambit now is going to probably see a lot more play, coming down to 4 points. With the popularity of Elusive where it was, and I understand part of it is because it was just 2 points, but as far as the defensive mod, do you think that Debris Gambit is at the same power level as Elusive, or at least a little less or a little higher? Like, what do you think?
I think Elusive's a little bit better than Debris Gambit, just because it doesn't require an action and you can recharge it a lot more.
Okay.
It's just if you bump, you still have like a focus elusive reroll. You don't get that with Debris Gambit.
Gotcha.
No, it's your whole action, but for certain ships, I think it's better.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I still think elusive's better. I am not really looking at elusive too much anymore, unless it's like a very specific kind of ship. Which is good because free defensive reroll is very strong. And, dedicated's up to 3 points now, so we might as well hit elusive.
Yeah, definitely.
Juke went up 1 point. Even though they took it away from Defender Vader, whatever.
It's good it went up.
Yeah.
Rickolay. Yeah.
Yeah. Notorious went up to 7, which makes sense. That's really, really strong upgrade. And Saturation Salvo went down to 2 points in preparation for the bombers to come out, I guess. I don't know. I think Saturation Salvo, I believe when 2.0 first came out, Saturation Salvo was like 6 or 8 points.
It was 8 points. It was ungodly expensive for no reason.
Now it's 2, and no one will play it.
Yeah, exactly. And then going down to Advanced Proton Torpedo. Now, I think this is probably due to most likely the Rebels, I would say. The APT is going up to 9 points there, a 1 point increase, and Plasma Torpedoes coming down to 5 points. I actually like this change. I think Plasma Torpedoes has been underrated for such a long time. I do understand the big the big hit potential, the high ceiling that proton torpedoes and advanced proton torpedoes has, but plasma torpedoes, especially at a high initiative, going in to put in those first strikes on the ship, is just as effective as as a proton torpedo in stripping shields and getting damage through, to soften up a target for follow-up shots from the rest of the list.
I also think APT went up too because a bunch of the T70s went down, and they have like 7 and 8 point loadouts.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's probably a big part of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it. We went through all.
We got it.
3 hours. We went through all the.
So, for you, what's your biggest change? Like, surprise at change? Like, what's your favorite change so far, and your more disappointing one?
I mean, my disappointed one is dedicated and 7th Fleet Gunner. They can argue that 7th Fleet Gunner needed to go up, but 13 points is a lot.
I mean, you can still take it on your 6 point lat,
Yeah. I would love to run just garbage.
The garbage will do.
No, that's like the biggest personal impact. But I really like. Oh, I guess also the most disappointing thing is the Scum faction in its entirety, because that thing it was hard to list build before, and now you can list build a little bit easier, but everything got worse overall. So it's like I can fit 6 point Dengar in my list now, but that's not good.
Yeah,
I do get Seavor, which is fun. But no, Resistance looks really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Rebels still seems really strong. Republic seems really strong. The Separatists seem really strong. First Order seems really strong. And then there's Scum. And the Empire, which is always solid. I just not super into the Empire.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, for me, I think my favorite change was Seventh Fleet Gunner going up in price. I think that was such an impressive card.
Impressive.
But particularly with Delta 7 Obi-Wan, just being able to throw 5 dice at range 1, it was pretty sick. But beyond that, I'm actually very, very happy with the points changes across the board. I think it really focuses on having you make choices with your list in terms of loadouts as well as pilots as well across the factions. It feels like there's no more auto includes for a lot of things. I think that as far as the list, it does make it a little more wide open. Although the majority of the ships do share a lot of loadout values, or sorry, not a lot of points cost rather. I think that we're going to see a much more variety in the meta across the board. I think Scum does have a viable chance to have a few lists that are going to do well beyond just large bases. So I'm excited to see what this season of Store Champs is going to bring for the game.
So, in a joking manner, my favorite changes was Finn and Torkel Mux, hands down, because those are like the most hated ships ever, and they should just be banned.
Why do you actually have a problem with Torkel? Just out of curiosity.
So when I first started playing the game, right, Torkel Mux was such a negative play experience for me that like it got to the point where I almost wanted to rage quit. And some of it is right because you have other players that are better than you. So when you bring a Hera in behind, some of your other options, and Torkel Mux goes, "Oh, Hera, you're gonna engage at I0 now," and then everybody just kills your Hera every single time. You get really pissed off. But what I found was no matter what faction I played outside of CIS, I hated Torkel Mux if you didn't fly just right. And some of it was because he had the Moldy Crow title. So when you could take that with Torkel Mux, it made those lists better. But for me, it was just the negative play experience, period. Like to me, Torkel Mux is one of the largest negative play experiences in X-Wing, maybe outside of like Luke Gunner or whatever, like when Luke Gunner was a thing. Because that was pretty bad too, but I didn't get to play in that, right? Finn is just because Finn's stupid and annoying.
No, Finn, I understand. I was just curious on the Torkel part.
Yeah. But that's why Torkel, because when I first started playing, Torkel Mux was just, and not everybody ran him, but when people ran him, it was just like, oh my God, like when you're learning to play the game, like what he does to me was just horrible.
It's like Torkel Mux's heyday was in like late 2018 with like Drea Swarms. He hasn't done anything. I was just pure curiosity on that.
Because it's a negative play experience. Like Finn is kind of a negative play experience too, in of himself to some extent, but Torkel Mux is just like worse in my opinion. Like it's hands down worse. Like it's just I don't even know. Like when Ray Gunner goes, "Hey, I'm going to flip a blank to a hit or an evade," you go, "Okay, that sucks, right? That's not cool, but that's not the end of the world." When Torkel Mux goes, "You don't get to engage, you don't get to do anything. I'm going to take everything away from you. You can go fuck off and die," and you're just like, I can't play the game. And to me, it's a very, very poorly written card. Now, I'm not going to say Boba's not poorly written too, but at the time, Torkel Mux has a bigger impact on that type of stuff. I don't know. That's why. So, and if you want to make me a shirt that says Torkel Mux can go to hell or whatever the hell you want it to say, as long as it's nothing positive about him, I will wear the shirt at every Store Champs, as long as it's comfortable.
I was just curious because I mean, like a lot of people obviously didn't like him if they were playing like Whisper, which a lot of people around me were.
Yep.
But
or Soontir Fell. You know how I lost a Soontir Fell one time to an M3A swarm with Torkel Mux, which is my own fault, yes, for putting Soontir close enough to be shot at 3 times, but still, like, it's just, to me, it's just negative play experience. It's a poorly written pilot card. And
yeah, the debuffs in any game are generally not fun to play against. That's kind of a design philosophy.
Yes. And so whatever. I mean, some of the things I can get behind, but Torkoal Mux I cannot. So, and I never will. And I don't care what anybody says. You'll never change my mind about Torkoal Mux ever. It's just never going to happen. Anyway, on the side for me, so besides that piece of the Torkoal Mux piece, because I actually love that. Like, that was a surprise to me. So I was so excited by that, you have no idea. Like, I did a happy dance. But other than that, like, for me, the big thing, it's nice to see Tri-Fighters become viable, personally. It's nice to see Silencers become a little bit more viable, even though I don't think FO needed the effing help at all. It's nice to see Resistance have a little bit more leg, though I'm not sold on the stupid Chewbacca thing. Outside of that, like, I think Resistance getting some X-Wings lower is pretty cool. And I will tell you right now, like, for a new player starting, to be able to hand them 5 X-Wings in Resistance is amazing. To be able to hand them 5 X-Wings in Rebels is going to be amazing. And like, that's the type of change I like. Even if 5 X-Wings are not like ultra competitive, to me, it's amazing for the pure fact of getting people into the game. It's an iconic ship. They don't die right away. You love to play them. And I feel like there's cool personalities of these ships that you get to play. And I will tell you, like, I already talked to Corey, and like, we have like new player kits built. He's going to throw T60 or T75, T70s in there all day long, because I can hand that to almost any player right now and they can play it. And if we talk about what AMG has strived to do is get new people into the game, I feel this points update a little bit has helped some of that. I don't like some of the power creep at all, but I think being able to pull some of this stuff in there makes new players walking into the game so much easier. And I'm going to, like, I don't know if Tim listens to our show or not, but Tim from my locals is a newer gentleman. He likes to play Rebels and Empire, and watching Tim play, like, sometimes you could tell Tim feels a little bit more defeated. And this points update, like, I can't wait to get to like see him tomorrow so that he could be like, hey, this is exciting. I got a bunch of new toys to play with. And like, that guy is like the epitome of like the new player, like the best thing that you can ever imagine when you see a new player. Like, he lights up all the time. He loves the game. And this is something that I feel is going to help him progress as a new player, to be able to compete a little bit with some of the, BS, like me flying an outmaneuver Grievous when I probably don't need to fly that against them. Like, it's probably not. That's probably a dick move. Now he gets to fly against the Sunfuck, but whatever. I mean, I'm just saying.
Just fly Torkoal Mux against them so that way he can share your hate.
No. All right, Tim. If you listen to this and you approach me, I will not. I can't do it. I just can't do it. The things I don't like is that they didn't get rid of Born for this. Fuck them for that. I hate that. I cannot stand that in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand the lower point costs of the YT1300s. I'm befuddled by why they thought that was good. Except for Scum, I guess. Like, whatever. Like, that was that. But to me, Scum is the biggest disappointment, because people want to say CIS is the 2.0 Scum or 2.5 Scum. And I hate people saying that, because I want CIS to have a different identity faction. I don't want to be 2.5 Scum at all. Like, I hate that. And I want Scum to be viable, because I actually enjoy playing Scum a lot. And you know who didn't build the Scum list? This guy. Other than I like Finn Rao, but I didn't build a Scum list, and I'm not going to. I don't understand their hatred of Scum. And if they hate it that much, fucking disperse it, right? Let's just take it, break it apart, and make it other factions, or make them bounty hunters or bounties where you could just bring them into other factions. Like, that would be cool. Can I bring Boba Fett into CIS?
Oh, you mean 2.5 Scum? Yeah. Sure.
Fuck you. But I'm just saying, like, I really do not like that that Scum feels nerfed more. That's what it feels like to me. And
Scum
I don't
is
like it.
hard to build for right now. And it's just still going to go back to, well, I'm just going to go fly Boba Fett.
Yep.
And whatever.
And I hate that. I just... I can fly Boba Fett again, I guess, right? That's a thing. 9 and 6 points. That's 15 points. I can still got 5 more points. I can fly Bosk in a 3-point ship
And
or another 5-point ship. Whatever. Anyway, so that my disappointment is Scum, and that's because I heard they were going to help Scum out. They really cared about Scum, but obviously they do not.
But they brought Dengar and the Mandalorian down a point, and the YVs.
Yeah, I will fly the YVs. I do like YVs, but still, like, I don't know. I mean, I can now fly Bosk, Lots, and Afra for 18 points, and well, I guess you can't fly Bosk. Yeah, then yeah, and the Nash the Pup. There you go. Yeah, fuck that. Damn it. Damn it. I need a 2-point TIE fighter.
Like Katos Lichos.
I don't know. Anyway.